All right, my friends, welcome back to Real Estate Bites. This is episode 122. As always, hey, look, if you like the information that comes across here on Real Estate Bites, find it useful, want to share it with your friends, or if you want to look up past episodes, uh, scan this QR code here up in the corner. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and all these things. If you can't catch it here on Facebook or it gets lost in the feed or whatever, you can always go to the YouTube channel, check out the current episode, look up past great topics, talk about a whole lot of stuff here that has to do with real estate. So anyways, the past couple of weeks, I did a brief two-part series about ways to save money in your home. We talked about the tax incentives of holding real estate. We talked about rebates that are available through the state or through different private co-ops for utilities and whatnot. So this next couple episodes that I want to do here, including today, is going to be another little series where we talk about different systems or methods to improve marketability for the future, right? So specifically today, we're going to talk about smart homes. And then next week, we're going to talk about energy efficiency, sustainability, that kind of stuff. Now, both of these topics, they're not new, right? These things are talked about every day. Today, though, they're a luxury, right? Having the home wired, for interconnectivity, blah, blah, blah. It's a luxury today, energy efficiency, all this kind of stuff. These are today's luxuries, certainly here in Ohio. Maybe on the coast, they're a little more further along with that stuff, especially when there's legislation that requires a certain amount of sustainability and energy efficiency. But by and large, the things that I'm going to talk about today are a luxury. However, in the future, these things might be a requirement, if not a necessity, for tomorrow's buyer. Okay, so let's talk about it. Smart homes. We're all aware of the Internet of Things, the interconnectivity of all these different gizmos, gadgets, and devices you have in your home. They're all connected to the internet. They all communicate from stuff, and you can control all of it from your phone or with your voice, right? We're all aware of refrigerators that can tell you when it's time to go restock on grapes and cheese. We know about the dishwashers that sense if something is broken inside of it. We've all seen the robot vacuums, right? The little guys hovering around the floor. We're all very familiar with the multitude of different security systems. Ring obviously is huge, but any security system, ADT, they have all got, camera systems, voice activated systems, things, where you can look at different camera angles on your phone, floodlights with cameras on it, etc. Smart light switches, smart door locks and window locks. Again, these can be controlled by your phone from a distance. Immersive entertainment centers, transparent TV sets. Like we know that, these things can all be connected to and controlled by the Alexas, the Google Homes, the Apple Homes. We're all aware of these things. Some of the features that are picking up steam that you might not be aware of are, whole home presence sensory systems in each room. So these things, when installed, will just detect if somebody is in there. You walk into a room and it knows you're there. Some of them are so sensitive, they can detect breathing or a change in breathing patterns. These sorts of systems allow you to basically walk into a room and never have to touch a light switch. You can walk into a room, it knows you're there, it turns the lights on. If it's too bright, you can talk to your house hub, tell them to dim the lights in that room. It'll dim the lights in that room. No, just a little bit brighter, comes up a little bit, right? You have these smart dimmer switches that you can install. There are features in the bedroom you can put in that actually will monitor and sense your circadian rhythms, right? So they'll monitor your sleep. And when you wake up, it knows you've awakened and you program a setting. You wake up and the lights will come on, not so bright as to bug your eyes, but just enough to see where you're going so you don't stub your toe or break your stuff, whatever. I mean, that's how advanced we're getting. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you saw in movies 10 years ago is available right now to everybody, right? There's shower systems that you can get in and shower, and it literally will monitor and analyze your skin condition And based upon what it reads, it will then dispense custom skin treatments, right? So you get in there, you shower, it monitors or analyzes your skin condition. You press a button or simply talk to it, and it will dispense into your hands lotions and whatnot that you then rub on to treat your skin. You know, if your skin is only slightly damaged, obviously what it's dispensing is a lighter concoction of whatever. And if you need some serious therapy, it amps up the dosage or something like that. I don't know. I wonder if you got to work together with a dermatologist to figure out what that custom stuff that you put. But I suppose if you can afford a shower system that is analyzing your skin condition, you probably have a dermatologist, right? And they can probably hook you up with some good chemicals. Okay. So there's even scent systems, sensors in the house that determine if, you know, the way you want your home to smell, if it has changed, and then spray stuff into the air to make sure your home smells the way you want it. Of course, if you want to change from lavender to coconut, right, then you just put a different mix of chemicals in your system and it will automatically spray that stuff in there, right? So that's all cool. Now, when we talk about the importance of real estate or having a home prepared for tomorrow's buyer, it's not really about the gadgets, right? It's not really about today's top of the line television or today's top of the line refrigerator that you can see through and you can see exactly what's in there, that you can dial up recipes right on there that tells you when you're low on milk. Because as we all know, gadgets, they go obsolete, right? They get outdated, new tech comes in. So it is not the gadgets in your home that are necessarily going to be what's important to the future buyer. Now, the gadgets in your home will display the capability and capacity of your home to support these IoT gadgets and gizmos and whatnot, right? So it is important to have those if you're wired for sound, right? It is important to have those because that displays the capability of your home. But the gadgets are not what's important here. It's really the infrastructure of your home and what you have done to prepare it to be ready for the new technology that future buyers will bring in, right? So one thing I would say is, you know, especially if you are not well-versed, because this is a rabbit hole that gets very deep and very wide very quickly. There's a lot going on here. And if you are not very well-versed in this stuff, I've got some friends who are very passionate about it. And after 5 minutes of discussing it with them, I want to run away because I don't care that much about this stuff. I'm not that interested in it. Albeit it's interesting. I won't lie. It's fun to see these things operate when they really go. But you know, it's really not that interesting to me. Although this is, let me show you something, guys. So here's just a real quick look at what homes are going to look like here in the next 10 years. And I think this is going to be more commonplace than you might believe. Robot. It's the off-cloud home robot.
Rainfall expected at about 10 millimeters per hour, likely to stop around 10 p.m.
Communicating to its home hub.
Now, on my way home. It's going to rain soon. Jogging today might not be a good idea. How about a home workout routine instead?
Good call. What about dinner?
What about French onion soup? It's your favorite go-to for rainy days.
Perfect.
Brant is on his way.
He's talking to his robot.
We're making onion soup tonight. All ingredients are available in the refrigerator.
Onions, butter, and cheese detected. All set to cook.
Wall oven. Sending over the recipe now. Can you set it up?
On it.
These are all LG.
I'll lower the lighting for a soothing ambience. Air conditioning?
Raising temperature to keep him warm.
Great teamwork, guys. I'm going to get his workout clothes ready.
Do your laundry, fold your laundry. I don't know if it cooked. It didn't show it cooking. That would be amazing. But, I mean, just a little taste of what I'm talking about. This is what homes of the future, the near future, are going to look like. Okay, so again, having the LG robot riding around in your house during a showing, while it's going to be very entertaining and very interesting to people, they understand that you're taking the robot with you wherever you go. You're taking the televisions, you're taking all the gadgets that are connected to your Internet of Things. What's really important is the setup inside the home, right? So the first thing I would recommend is hiring a pro. I talked about it just a minute ago. This is a deep rabbit hole you can get into. If you don't want to do, and you will spend hours upon hours researching what's out there and what's capable. So the best way would maybe to go hire a professional, right? The professional is going to guide you and help you figure out what is it that you want to install in your home. Where are these things going to be placed? These different appliances or televisions or LG robot butlers, or where are they going to be placed in your home? Where do you need certain power considerations? How does the home need to be wired? And then put together a plan of, okay, what are the essentials that we can buy over the next 1 to 3 years? After that, what's the next set of priorities? And you can build a plan to first prepare the home. And then what is the rollout of the different products that you want to buy and put inside your home to really complete this thing? So I mentioned power requirements. You might need to start at the panel, right? So a consultant is going to talk to you and discuss power requirements. You might need to upgrade your electrical panel. That might be the first thing you have to do in order to get your house smart home ready, right? And then it's, okay, I want to have, additional outlets here. I want to have, light switches here. I need to have hidden charging stations here, because really what's going to be attractive and what people want, wires are unsightly and they're ugly. What's going to be super attractive, what's really going to boost home value and sell your home in a snap in the future to tomorrow's buyer is you have this integrated, seamless, and invisible system that runs on a combination of AI, internet, etc., right? So the more of the infrastructure that you can install that is out of sight, out of mind, and leaves a clean look inside your home, that people can, go in and all these gadgets are working together, but they can't see the source of the power or the communications. That is what's going to be super attractive to tomorrow's buyer, right? So the consultant is going to help you figure out where to bring power, right? If you want to run Ethernet cables through the house because you want your television or your workstations to be plugged in to hardwire so that you don't ever have to worry about any interruptions, any interruptions that might happen through a router system, then, maybe it also, you consider, well, in the future, we would want to run this, but maybe it's not in the budget, or, maybe we're just trying to think ahead, being a little avant-garde in our planning. You can run additional conduit. I'm good. You can run additional conduit and just prepare for the, bear with me. Are you Pat? Yes. Okay. I'm doing a little bit here. Some fella came to help out with the front door, scraping on the concrete. Every time in the wintertime, or the concrete heaves and the door won't open. It's crazy. But anyways, so the infrastructure of the home is what's important. You're going to want these sources of electricity and Ethernet cable hidden, right? These need to be, whenever you're going to do a renovation, make sure you have these lines run through the walls. You might want to install cabinetry, that has hidden charging stations. So another thing to take a look at as well, let me share my screen here. There's going to be a home hub where you're going to have this sort of thing here, the Matter Hub, HomeKit hubs. I'll be done in like 5 minutes. And so what these hubs do is they have an IP protocol that will allow you to have different product lines from different companies, right? So it's pretty amazing too, because the Googles and the Apples and the Amazons of the world actually got together to come up with this IP protocol called Matter that allows their different product lines to actually communicate through the Home Hub to one another. That way you're not pigeonholed into one company and their ecosystem of products. You can get your favorite products from different company lines, and they can all communicate through this hub, right? You might want to dedicate a PC just to this hub so that it has the computing and processing power that you need to have a smart home operate efficiently. But the Home Hub is something that you want to get set up, and you want it to be sort of out of the way, both for the security of it itself and for the sightliness in the home, right? So you might want to work with your planner to design, where's the Home Hub going to go? Another thing that you're probably going to want to install is a mesh system, right? This is a series of different, basically sub routers. So your main router, right, projects your internet signal throughout the house, and these mesh systems will capture it and then push it a little bit further, and they communicate and work with one another to cover more square footage inside and outside the home with internet and internet connectivity. Now, these things, again, these specific pieces of equipment you would probably take with you when you sell and go to the new home, but to plan and create spaces where they can go and be aesthetically pleasing and out of the way is something that another person, a future buyer might want to see. Planning where they go to create the biggest spread of internet connection, internet availability throughout your property. And again, building a space where they can be out of the way and still aesthetically pleasing is what people are going to want to see. All right. So these are just some ideas about how to prep your home for smart capabilities and to really maximize the Internet of Things in your home to be attractive to future buyers. So that is the content for today. Let's get into the stats of the week, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Again, next week we're going to be talking about sustainability and energy conservation inside the home. So, all right, last week you can see here right now there were 34 sales. So last week there were the week prior rather. On the show, we talked about there were 35 sales, and that was the lowest number I'd ever seen. Well, we're one lower this week. So again, this is a reflection of how much demand dipped over the late fall, early winter. Right now, there's 456 single-family homes and condos on the market in Lorain County. Moving on, the square foot of the median square foot of homes sold last week was 1,714. Median sale price was $244,950. Median square foot value, we dropped, what is that there? $24 a square foot from $182.85 down to $158.16. So, a correction there. I thought I had seen these higher square foot values come up the past 2 weeks, and maybe we were seeing a trend where that appreciation was hitting again. But for these homes that sold last week, we see this lower square foot value. Median days on market was 37. The interest rate on a 30-year conventional note as of this morning was 6.16%. And then the big sale of the week, the city of Amherst makes its 6th appearance out of 122 episodes, and it sold at 1.9. And check this one out, guys, because this one is special. All right. This mansion out here on Cross Road in Amherst is a thing of beauty and one of the favorites. This is probably my favorite one that I've ever featured here on Real Estate Bites. Sold by former colleague Steve Lawson. Congratulations, my man. This is awesome. So you can see this beautiful sprawling 7.5 acre properties. There's 9 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. And we'll just roll through this beauty. It is an awesome, awesome property. Right? I mean, basically, when it comes to layout, fixtures, and furnishings, it's what you'd expect of a multi-million-dollar home. But this stuff, which is beautiful and attractive and amazing, I mean, this fridge freezer combo here. As great as that is, it's like, you know, it's when we get to the real amazing features, that's when you can see that this house almost feels like a bargain. There you can see right there. So you got this entertainment room, the pool hall, right? And then the indoor pool in the back. You've got this indoor theater. There's your indoor pool. Right off there, you got a little bar, a little wet bar. You know, as you can imagine, I mean, the flooring is incredible. The finish work is incredible. Absolutely beautiful place. This gigantic California closet in the master, gigantic master bathroom. Almost feels like a steal at $1.9 million. I'm not even gonna lie. This house is remarkable. And it gets even more fun because you get back here and you've got your guest house on the other side of the pond, separating the mansion from the property. So if you had people come in from out of town, look, they don't even have to stay down the hall from you. They can have their own little place with this sort of a view and you know, look across the pond at your grandeur and amazingness and just be thrilled every time. So this was turned into a game room. I don't know if there's a full legit kitchen in here. I can see a fridge, but obviously this was a game room that they had built all the way back out there. They got the golf simulator in here, exercise place right outside is the, you know, the fire pit. So this was the game room / party house. Just an amazing property out in Amherst, sold at $1.9 million. And that is a wrap on episode 122. Again, if you like this stuff, snap that QR code, go subscribe. I will see you next week. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. I love you, people. Pat?